Yes. Hello. Boom shakalaka. Think it. Oh, well, that's a thing. Um, Hola. Wow. Mm. There isn't an invite button. So in the Google chat window. I know I'm broadcasting, dear. Let me do this. Go to Creator Studio. Hmm. There's not though. Oh, my microphone is fine. Go away. There's the cameraman. Why are there two of me now? Uh, I did that. The little person right there. And copy that link. It's that one. All right, now, but yeah. No, that's not the one. It's that one. Okay. That's just the watch link. That's not gonna work. one's a YouTube link. This one's Hangouts. Control C. It's not the right one though. All right, so the invite link. Okay. Wow, technology blows sometimes. Hi kids, who's here? Yes. Resume Hangout on air. I'm already on Hangout on air, so just refresh that page. Yes.
I'm finally in.
Fabulous.
So email. Thanks, Google, for not working at all today.
Exactly.
Let me adjust my camera so I'm not quite a ghost really quick. You never know with the natural lighting. Hey, there I am.
Hey, see you.
So has all of your morning been like this?
Yes, my entire morning has been crazy.
All right. Hi, Angela. I see you're in the chat. Have you got chat and stuff up?
Who, me? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out now, though. Is this automatically switching back and forth between us, or do I need to do something?
So do you have my... Okay, so in the bottom right-hand side, how you can... Wait, what? You just went silent. Do that again. Say that again. Okay, what?
What?
Okay, yeah, you're there. Okay, so on the bottom... on the bottom right-hand side, where both of our cameras are, if you've selected only one where it has like the white outline, then it's only going to stay on that camera. If you click that again to take that off, then it'll flip back and forth. So as long as no one is selected, it should flip back and forth fine.
Perfect.
Yep.
Wow.
So let us take a long, deep sip after that bullshit.
Yes, let's do. Oh.
What the hell?
Yeah, I kind of want a cigarette after that. Hi.
I shared the link on my page too. So
Okay, cool. Speaking of which.
Speaking of which.
Speaking of which. So, okay, well, like right now it's like saying resume the hangout. And I'm like, I haven't
Well, you're
stopped the
definitely
hangout.
still live because I see it in my other window. So I think what's happening is just your Google chat has a mind of its own.
Oh, yeah. I think so too.
Yeah. But we're live and broadcasting, so
Fabulous.
and I'm finally here. So I say let's roll with it.
So I'm like emailing peeps. Wow. Finally. I'm like, geez, really?
Emailing them how you invited me?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say, because that's gonna bring them into this, not into
no.
your public. Yeah.
I'm like,
Angela says she can see and hear us both. Wonderful.
okay.
Thank you, Angela.
What a freaking day.
Yeah. How long have we been trying at this now? Like 20-some minutes.
Oh my god.
Usually the link is faster, but it kept giving me like a weird link. So. Yeah.
It might be because my laptop won't let me, like when I open the live chat thingy. Wait, I don't want to see my face.
See, Angela says she didn't even see the reminder for it until like 5 minutes ago. For us being live.
Wow.
Google, or not even Google, YouTube has been really bad with that lately. Like the alerts to people on your channel, your subscribers and stuff, don't go out half as much, and the ones that do are really delayed. I'm noticing because Joey and I have been having the same issue.
Wow.
That's why we link everything on Facebook. Not everyone has Facebook, but it's the best we can do.
All right, come on. I can do this.
What are you working on now?
Oh, it's the thing. It's like, so I had the chat pop out, right? And
Yeah.
all of that happy stuff. And then now it's gone.
The chat to the left side of us, or the chat on the public?
The public chat.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm popping it out again. Yay.
That's what I usually do. It's easier. Because it'll like scroll down the side as you're talking.
Yay, technology.
Well, you know, we are in like the pre-shadow of Mercury, and then there, I think it's Uranus, and apparently there's a lot of retrogrades.
Don't forget the fabulous eclipse that's coming up on the 21st.
Yeah, and the eclipse, which actually today's the 7th, so we have a the lunar one today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then on the 21st is the solar one. So.
Yay, technology.
Yeah, Angela says right. There's some crazy shit going on. To be going on over the next 2 weeks. Yeah. Going to be going on. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. So what?
Yeah, go ahead. It's your channel. Do it.
No, go, do it.
I was gonna be like, so what are we talking about today, Alan?
Well, so let's talk about gods and goddesses. Go.
Okay, gods and goddesses.
Just in general.
Do you
Like,
have one? Do they call to you?
I have a few. Do they call to you?
I don't know if yours call to me, but someone calls to me. But I guess it's also how you look at it. Whole other. Anyway, I don't know. Well, what I work with Hel, Hecate, and Odin, which is an interesting mixture, and I realize that. But I also think you don't care because you yourself have an interesting mixture.
I have a very interesting mixture.
So who all do you work with? I know some of them.
Well, there's Kuan Yin, who's behind me now, and Ganesha is a regular that I work with. Pan,
So
who
you
is
do
just
cross as well, yeah.
yeah. And lately, I thought for like a couple of weeks, the past couple of weeks, that I was gonna be working with the Morrigan, which is not really someone I've ever really been drawn to. But then, like, I don't know what it was, but I think it was like a dream, maybe. But it was like
Popular for her.
I thought it was the Morgan, but then turns out it was Caradwin, who I've worked with in the past.
I like the Morrigan too, but Caradwin just always just hits my bones, right? Something about her.
No. She but like she doesn't make a huge appearance in my life very often. And it's like she comes and goes whenever she wants to. And so
I feel like that energy anyway, that sort of cronish kind of edge of the wood outsert kind of energy doesn't really talk that often unless they really need to anyway. But when they do, when they do, you listen. So like maybe do you mind if we start out with like how we started working with them?
Go for it.
So, okay, so when I was smaller, obviously we got into our native roots and everything. And I'd always seen the world in an animistic way anyway, so like I already thought like to some extent everything had a spirit and sense. But then through all of our searching in the earth-based stuff and everything, I remember finding Wicca and being like, okay, Lord and Lady, all right. Well, so like these are two specific things, but also they're archetypes. What? and then like you would see different goddesses used for Lady throughout the year at the different Sabbats and stuff, you know? So like and mind you, I'm like 12, right? So I'm like, so they are, but they aren't, but they are. Wait. And I worked with that kind of setup for a little bit, but then Persephone came forward. And I guess the way I started working with her is the symbology or the symbolism. The symbolism was like everywhere. Pomegranates, the half in, half out, you know, the sacrificing for love, essentially. And I don't know. And then from that, it kind of led to Horus. I don't actually remember how I worked with. I think he just kind of showed up one day and was like, I'm silent in here. And I'm like, that's weird. Okay. Because I feel like, you know, something else that people wonder are like, oh, I don't know if this god or goddess wants to work with me, or I don't know if I'm worthy of them too comes up a lot. Because like I was like that with Odin. And I don't know, man. I just with Horus and stuff, I was kind of like, all right, well, I'm not gonna question you, so I guess I'm just gonna go with it. Because questioning you seems like the worst path. So I don't know, and then that just kind of led into other things, but I still had this feeling that they were all connected somewhere. And that even furthermore, we were all connected. So it took me a long time to kind of like work that around in my head of like, what am I? Am I a soft polytheist? Am I a hard polytheist? Am I a pantheist because of the spirit and everything and etc.? Like, what am I? And nowadays, I just gave up on that because I don't think anyone will ever know 100% for sure, because I think it shifts according to what we need and how they need to come to us at the time. At least that's my opinion. How did you start with deity?
Oh, I started like back when it's like that's it's a weird story. Um I started back I so when I started working with deity, I was probably 12 going on 13, and I had decided that when I started exploring Wicca, I was like really kind of not really drawn to, but I kind of thought that Diana was the Wiccan goddess for
Mm.
some reason. I don't know why. But like,
Well, she's predominantly displayed in that kind of environment, I think.
yeah. So I tried like of course I was living at home with the parents, had to hide things. So I had this little like it looked like a totem pole.
Uh-huh.
It had like an eagle on top, and there was a bear, and I think there was like a tiger or something too. But it looked like a little totem pole, and it was the only thing that I had that would remotely represent like a pagan deity. So I pretended that this thing was Diana, and I attempted to
Working with what you
pray.
got right out the gate.
Right. So I attempted to like, I guess because I was raised Christian, I attempted to like pray to Diana, and I got nothing.
Okay. Nothing.
Like there's nothing. I mean, it was just like a blank space. Like, bleh. Like there was nothing at all. Like just nothing.
See,
Just like dead
that's how I
space.
felt when I was younger and I prayed to God. Oh, hello. Guess we're getting company. Yeah. Leave my coffee alone.
So yeah. And then several years later, I just kind of started. I was in like a world civilization class, and that's when we started exploring Buddhism and whatnot. And so that's kind of when Kuan Yin came into my life and was just kind of there, just like showed up. And
dude, really? Get down. Come on. Go. 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 You sat over there, but not here.
Gertie,
every time I do a live broadcast lately. Every time.
Gotta be the center of attention. You know how they are.
Anyway.
Like my Gertie is over asleep on a pile of fabric that I have in the living room. Otherwise, she'd be here. Because she's like snoozing over there.
Aww.
It's like
I like it when she's in the videos. I get excited.
This kind of fabric. It's like just like piled up on the couch, and so she's snoozing.
Yeah, it's the perfect little pillow. Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Speak of the devil.
Oh!
Here she
heard
comes.
you say her name. No.
So
I think that said a lot about your attitude, like right off the bat, though, to have a totem thing and be like, "This is Diana."
Right. Just like this is gonna represent Diana for now. Just like
yeah. Hi, Violet.
And then let's see what else. I guess right after I started, well, when I was initiated into Faycraft Wicca, back when I was
Mm-hmm.
13, that's when I really started working with sort of a formal way with deep.
Right.
And then that's when Pan made his appearance. So I was like going on 14 when he came into the picture. And Ganesha actually just came into my life like maybe 7 years ago ish now.
Has it really been 7 years?
Hmm?
Wow. Dude. Okay.
Yeah.
The cat. I feel like it. How long have you been on YouTube now?
Oh gosh.
Right? Someone asked me that the other day and I had to go look.
Like I couldn't tell you because I know it was probably 2004 maybe.
I know
When I
mine started at
started.
2011, but I had channels before this one. This
Right.
is the one that I actually like did stuff with,
Right.
other than comment and watch videos.
Like I had like 4 or 5 channels over the years, so
No. Yeah, well, that's why I asked, because I'm like, I feel like you've worked with Ganesh like you just started. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I believe you. But looking back, I'm just like, really? It's been that long?
well, because okay, well let me backtrack just a little bit because I went to nursing school in 2009
Yeah,
and
I remember you in nursing school.
then in 2012, early 2012 was when I graduated. And then in 2 years later in 2014. So actually, even though Ganesha has been in my life for like 7 years, it was probably,
Yeah.
I say 7 years, but it was probably 2013, end of 2013, when I actually gave up and like gave in and started working with him because he was like poking me before that and I
Yeah.
wasn't listening. And so I was unemployed for 5 years until I said, okay, fine. And then it was
I mean, that's not funny, but
it's not, but it is. It's
but
hilarious.
it kind of is. Looking back, it's funny. At the time, I'm sure it was not. Yeah. Well, why do you think we resist so much, though? Like, I noticed that's a really common story is that people are like, oh, like for me, Hecate literally had to smack me in the head. Like, literally, like I was vacuuming and I heard a growl and then I got smacked upside the head. Like a dog growl. And then whack. And I knew it. Like, I turned around, no one was home, and I'm looking down the hallway like, what the fuck just happened?
Right?
Yeah. Odin tested me, and I was reluctant with him because I was like, oh, Odin, I am so okay. So intimidated.
Like, not ready for that one.
Right. Like, that's a lot right now. Hold on. And then Hell was one of those that I felt drawn to, but I didn't react instantly because that whole fear of like being fake and not disrespectful as well to them and like not doing your research first. Even when they're the one approaching you, it's like someone showing up on your door and knocking and then like you being like, hold on, I can't let you in. I need to do a background check first.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Background check.
But yeah, there's like an element of that, at least for me. What about you? Did you have any like, oh, you got planes. All right.
Yeah. We got a plane going over. Like,
yeah.
The back
That's
door's
all right.
open
I
because
got
it's like
people
really
moving
hot.
in across the street, so if you hear any big trucks, that's what's going on there.
Well, I mean that was nothing. You should have heard a couple weeks ago. I did like a mini 3-day workshop and online. And the second day, I had roofers show up
Oh no.
before I even knew they were coming. They just like showed up.
Oh.
It was horrific. It was not fun to work through, but
Violet says, my goddess is in Oregon and she's been there since I was 7. Told me as a kid, do it yourself. You know, that's actually funny about the kid thing because, like, hell, I said that when I found her, or when she greeted me, I should say, when she came to me, I thought that I had just found her. But after, like, getting to know her more, I realized that she has always been around. Like, I don't remember a time not seeing her. I just didn't realize that that's who she was. I mean, she used to stand guard over my bed at night when I fell asleep, and I was very small. So, but I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, it's someone there, and you know that they're a guardian, and you're not scared of them, even though they look scary, but you just go with it.
right. But
You
see,
know?
that's kind of the way that well, sort of the way that I want to say that's the way Ganesha showed up, but not really, because I knew he
Good
was
story.
there. Not really though. I knew he was there, and he was like poking at me and like trying to get my attention, but I was like not having it. And I think the big thing for me was I didn't want to. I didn't because Ganesha he's still part of a living religion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I didn't want to disrespect that or take him out of context or something, but he was not having any of it. So it was either give in or not eat for the rest of my life. Like because I was unemployed and it was like I gotta make a move.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you basically got pushed between a rock and a hard place.
Right.
You're like, fine, I'll do it, fine.
Like, all right, but that's what it takes for me to be able to have food on my table.
Please let me have food. Yes.
I enjoy eating.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. We're
There
from the
she
South.
is.
That's like a big chunk of life, right? Gertie!
You rotten thing.
All cats, all the time. See, so Angela says, see, now when I was younger and prayed to God, I had a great connection, and that connection just disappeared in my early 20s. I'm having a real hard time connecting with a god or goddess at this point. I swear I've heard a few of them talk to me, but then no response. Yeah. So when I said the thing about, like, when I prayed to God, there was nothing there, it was like, I knew that there was something there, but it was like I was speaking the wrong language. Does that make sense? Like, I know it wasn't like there was just this void. It was more like I'm speaking, but it's not translating. Like, it's not the, you know, like you put a German and, you know, someone from China in the same room, and they're not going to understand each other, but they could be agreeing and saying the same thing. Like, you know, they're there, but it's just not getting across.
Right.
And I think too, though, is like over time working with that, at least for me, you also come to feel more than you speak. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me because I'm like, for myself, I don't necessarily hear entities speak to me.
Mhm.
Like, I just don't hear them.
Like
but
the external.
right.
You're here though, aren't you? Like you feel them speak to you like this, like I do.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And like I can hear like internally here as well. But most of my stuff is feeling and knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And that knowing of like you just nope, it's this. That's what they want. But see, I swear I've heard a few of them talk to me, but then no response. Are you wanting them to respond to you in a certain way? Because sometimes if like you use that kind of box intentionally or unintentionally, like they'll break that box every time. I feel like. What's your experience with that, Alan?
I'm trying to keep Gertie from tearing my crap up
those.
over here.
Yeah.
Go on, get off the table. Go ahead. Go.
See? I had to kick mine down too. Exactly.
Okay, so what was my experience with?
The fact that, okay, so she was like, she's having a hard time connecting. She's heard a few of them talk to her, but then she gets no response. So like the communication thing there. And I said, well, sometimes if you're wanting them to respond to you, but you only want it in a certain way, like you don't get it because they don't work within that box. Like they'll respond to you however they see fit, essentially. And so you have to dig. Like they love riddles, man. Working for it makes it worth it or something.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, she says, well, it feels like void to me. Like there is something there for a second and then it's just gone.
Huh. Well, I'll say this, like I still have moments where I feel like there's nothing there when I try to communicate with a god or a goddess. But it's not as often as it used to be.
And certain ones will leave you for a while anyway. Like the Morrigan I know is really fond of like a barrage of things and then nothing out of nowhere for a while. Vacation. Yeah. Yeah, like they're like, bitch, I'm going to Cancun. I'll be back later.
Well, I mean, like that's what I was saying earlier with Caradwin. Like she makes an appearance in my life when she feels like it, and then it's like, see ya.
Yeah. Well, it's like Pixie Dude says, I have mental chats on their terms, not mine. And essentially that's what it is. It's their terms. So, and that's kind of what I was trying to say with like, if you're expecting it, like, give me a sign in a song, like they might give you a sign on a bus. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, yeah, well, you're going to get this. It's like, I can hear my mother being like, people in hell want ice water too. You can want on. You got one in hand and shit in the other. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but for there to be nothing, for there to be nothing, that makes me wonder about, don't beat me up, but it makes me wonder like about your own guard, your own walls there too. And like, are you open to however it's going to be, like regardless, however it's going to come in? And also, I mean, what you're saying right now, like, are you trying to communicate in their way? Because it was like me trying to talk to God, the Christian God, and then realizing later, oh, wait, I'm pagan. So I just do it differently. Right. You know? Because I, like, for me, I do believe that each God is like their own entity. But I also believe that at some point they also all link into this big trunk of energy. And so sometimes you need certain things and it all kind of comes out in the wash eventually. So you just had to learn maybe your way of talking to them.
Yeah, like I think they all communicate in different ways depending on whatever their own
Hmm.
individual strengths are, like depending on what their own viewpoint is. Because I mean, you got to keep in mind that a lot of most pre-Christian gods and goddesses are very human-like in
Hmm.
their attitudes and their the way they do things and the way they handle situations.
Yeah,
Like, like they're very
that was very
human-like.
diplomatically stated. Yeah.
But it's true. Isn't it true though? I mean, like
Yeah, like you
it's a
cheated on
polite
me,
way of saying it's a polite way
or
of
I'm
saying
jealous of
that
you. Now you're
some
a spider.
it's a
Yeah.
polite way of saying that some of them are just complete shitheads depending on how they feel like being that day,
Yes.
right?
Hi, Gothic. Gothic just came in. He said, "Y'all are making my morning with your lovely voices and your beautiful faces. Hello. Hello, gorgeous." Yeah. No, I agree though. I think that even in all the myths and stuff, they were very human like. They messed up a lot too. Um they can be jealous, they can be protective, they can, and I think that it's like, when you have older siblings, right? And you got to learn through their mistakes too. I think it's another instance of that too, is like watching them and learning from their parables, basically, like what not to do in this
Right.
situation and what to do in some cases as well.
Yeah, I think if you're having trust issues as far as because Angela said I'm definitely battling with walls and trust issues. So yeah, if you're having trust issues, that's probably the
It's
biggest
blocking you.
block. Yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely. That's why I
But
was
it's
like, look, this is what I'm feeling, and I'm sorry if you take offense, but I feel like there's walls and shit. Yeah.
but you can't force yourself through that either. I mean, that's like
Mhm.
there's it's
It's
a
a journey
natural
to
process
trust.
to open that up.
Yeah. There's a journey to trust. And I think that's with anything. You can't just be like, okay, today I officially trust the world and step out, you know? Like,
Right.
we don't just start as the fool card. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole process, and eventually we loop back around to the fool card again. So, you know, um, it definitely takes time, and there's little baby steps. And it's like I told my one friend, I was like, you just kind of got to keep, like, you take a step outside the fortress every day, just a little bit further. The first day you take a step out, the second day you take a step and admire the flowers right by the castle door. The third day you're over the drawbridge. The fourth day you're on the other side of the moat. The fifth day you're in the field. The sixth day you're in the forest, and before you know it, the world is your oyster, and you trust. But it's intervals, it's small pieces, and no one says you have to just go into the forest right away. You know.
Right. Especially if when you get hold of a deity, and you have to keep in mind that there's different cultural norms now too, because like there are some things that Pan has asked me to do that are just absolutely not socially acceptable in this day and age. Like it just can't happen,
Yeah.
and so we're either going to substitute that or it's just not going to happen.
You mean we can't like blood eagle anyone for Odin?
Right. Like we can't drink blood from the
Yeah,
skulls
that's
of our
probably not.
enemies
It's probably not
anymore.
acceptable.
And,
Yes.
it's not socially acceptable to do that as much as you'd like sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even when you have been working with a deity as long as you or I have,
Hmm.
there are still moments of
Oh
trust.
yeah.
And oh no, we can't do that. And
Yeah. There's
well,
still
yeah,
like
we
grip the
have to.
handlebar moments. Yeah, absolutely. And then you have to like kind of find your center and go, okay, look, what do you feel though? What are you feeling right now? Like put everything aside. What do you feel? Not like, oh, I feel nervous, but like, what do you feel? Is this good? Is this bad? Is your gut going, run away? Then you should probably run away. Otherwise, like, trust it.
Yeah.
We are already the blueprint to our own life. So we just kind of gotta listen to that gut more than we listen to our head sometimes.
I think a lot of times we have to learn to trust our own intuition before we learn to trust the voice of another being,
Good
for
point.
sure.
Yeah. Very good point. Yeah. And the only way to do that is to take little leaps
Yep.
and to just start doing. That's another thing too, is like people can get stuck. I'm not necessarily saying you, Angela, but people in general can get stuck on like theorizing instead of doing something and just trying it because they're afraid of like failing or offending or or it not meeting standards or something like that. And the thing is like you don't. The only way to do it is to do it. You know what I mean? Like you try it, and there's a certain point where you've gathered all the knowledge that you can, and any more knowledge is just going to be spinning your wheels, um, like your mental wheels, and not finding out what it's really about. Um, and so I think that's also part of it is that people get into that like background check part when they knock on your door, and they just
Right.
stay in the background check instead of just like opening up the door or like sliding the little window open and just being like, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been notorious for that. Like staying in the background check mode for a while. Let's just feel this out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to do that a lot. And some things I still like I get very in my head about all the things I have to do and stuff, not necessarily with AD, but just in life in general, because Capricorn. But um yeah. But over the years I've been doing this, I've learned to like a lot of times you got to go in with no preconceived notion. You just go in, and then later you background check. And that sounds completely bass backwards, and I understand that. But I feel like honestly, I learn more when I do that. I learn more about myself and my own endurance and my own competency, and I also learn that spirit is there, and that the things that I picked up were accurate. I can trust in it.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to jump in and let the deity teach you about themselves before other stuff.
Yes. That's what I had to do with Hell. There's not a lot of her out there to learn from. And the things that are very opposing. Like you have the traditional view of her, and then you have the like intuitive view of her. And they don't necessarily merge anywhere. So I was like, okay, screw this. And just started talking to her myself. Like, I must go straight to the horse's mouth kind of person.
Right.
And so that's what I did because I was like, I'm tired of y'all telling me how to see her. I'm gonna just go see her. And sometimes that's what you got to do. And yeah, I agree that journaling about trust could help. But I also agree that like doing little things, like one little thing every day, this one small thing, and trusting it would help too. Yeah, he's chuckling, but
Nope. I'm chuckling because I been there, done that. I know how this works.
Yeah.
Like,
Church bells? Are we going to church now, Ellen?
yeah, yeah. Those
Ask
are
not for whom the bell tolls.
that's the noon bells from that go off every afternoon.
Oh my god, that makes me miss living in the South. I don't have those up here anymore.
It's.
I know it can be annoying, but like I miss it because I was so used to it. I don't get that up here.
Well, I don't even hear them anymore. Like they're just there.
I know you didn't even react.
Like I don't like. Oh yeah, there's the bells.
Yep. Let's see what's going on in chat.
I was gonna say something though, and then the bells interrupted, so now I don't know what I was gonna say.
We were talking about taking a little step every day, and then you were chuckling.
Oh yeah. So how I would start with this, if I was gonna start working with a deity, if I was gonna start working with a god or a goddess, and I felt drawn to one, I would probably start in order to build up the trust muscle with that deity, the trust muscle.
All right.
I would probably start because I would probably start by like getting a statue or even making something to represent that deity and just talk to it on a daily basis. Talk to the thing. You don't even have to talk to the deity, just talk to the thing. And like build from there. Don't even ask for anything in return. Don't ask for a message or sign. Just talk to the thing.
And sometimes it's not even literally talking, it's just feeling them.
Yes.
Like being in their presence. My ancestral course even. I mean, it's not just gods and goddesses. My ancestral course has you like sit in their presence and feel them first. Because that is one of the first ways to get to know any entity is just to feel them. You don't have to have like, what do I say to them? I don't know what to say to them. You don't even have to have that. You just have to be like, may I feel you? I would like to feel your presence. I would like to know you. And if there's someone who's knocking on your door, then they're going to be like, yep, here you go.
Right.
It doesn't always have to be a dialogue, even. But yeah, I agree.
Like even with Ganesha, I don't even like do regular everyday stuff. Like I do a thing once a week, but on a regular basis, it's just like I walk in the dining room. It's like, hey, good morning.
Exactly. That's how I am too. It's just they're a part of me.
Yeah.
They're a part of my life. And it doesn't have to be, like this big, huge devotional thing, like every morning or every night before you go to bed. And like if people want to do that, that's awesome. Do it. I'm one of those people that ain't nobody got time. So, the extent of my morning thing is an incense goes on this altar and an incense goes on that, the ancestral mother's altar, the cauldron over there. And then I pull cards for the day. And that's pretty much it. Like that's my morning. And that doesn't happen every single morning because life. But I aim for it. I aim for every single morning. But every now and then, you got that day that you woke up late and you got to jump out of bed and you're lucky you got dressed.
Right.
Like, that happens.
It does.
It's life.
It does. Like, you people are lucky I'm wearing pants today.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm wearing a dress because I couldn't find pants.
Yeah, that's
Um,
mm-hmm.
hashtag real witches.
Right.
This is Angel said, "This is really why I listen to you guys so much because you all poke my shadow in a way I really need. I've had this thing where because I don't know what to say or how to connect, I've just been lighting a candle and incense on my altar each night. That's like that's good.
Yeah.
You say just been, but that's taking time out and honoring them. But here's the thing too. I'll do one more than that. I used to work in an industrial cooler and freezer, right? And I would stock, and it was a really repetitive thing. Like when you're stocking milk and stuff, you got the things behind you and the racks in front of you, so you're just like doing this all day for like hours, right? So there's a lot of like active meditation potential there. And so what I would do is either I would sing, which I know Alan does this too. I would sing to them whatever song I felt inspired to sing that I felt like was about them, any of the gods, but also my ancestors as well, because I'll sing for my grandma all the time. If you ever hear me singing a hymn, it's not for me, it's for
Right.
my grandma. um,
Exactly.
because those Old Rugged Cross was her favorite, and also His Name is Wonderful was her favorite, and I used to sing those in the hammock with her. Like she taught me how, and so those are her songs that I will sing for her. And in the winter it's Silver Bells because I can't hear that song without hearing her voice singing it. But so that's just song. That's just song. That's right where you are. No ritual tools. No sacred space set because the sacred space is set through that song, through that offering, through giving that piece of yourself to them, that time, that energy, and remembering them. And I think deity is very similar. It's you can also say, hell, I heard this song and it reminds me of you, so I'm going to sing it for you in your head, not even out loud. And you can sing the song in your head too while you're doing stuff. They communicate in so many different levels that it doesn't have to be uh, just one. So a candle and incense, I think is great. I think it's wonderful that you do that, and especially with you wanting to communicate more. You know, that's good. That's action. And if you're stuck on like not feeling something every now and then, maybe when you light them, sit with them for a little while. I don't know. Alan,
Just
what's
sit.
up?
Just sit, hang out, have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just I do
exactly.
that I do that all the time. Like with my like
Yeah.
especially with my ancestors, I'll just like light a candle,
Mm-hmm.
sit down, have my coffee, and like at some point I'm probably going to end up singing Southern gospel music because that's what my because that's what
But only if it's in a
my
rocking chair
right.
on the front porch. I think that's what people do when they sit outside on the front porch and listen to the birds in the morning. Like, I don't know if they realize it, but I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a devotional thing. It's kind of like an
Yeah.
unconscious devotional activity. Like they have
Mm-hmm.
that memory of doing it, I don't know, in a
To
past
greet
life
the
or
day,
maybe,
to
whatever.
give honor and
But
respect for a new day. Yeah.
yeah.
And all the life within it. Pixie says, I feel that even a thought of them is known and appreciated as a form of honoring. Exactly. And that's basically what I was saying is like, just think of them. We are the rememberers, right? We're like talking in ancestry, we're how they live on, quite
Right.
literally. Even the Havamal says, like kinsmen die, cattle die, but basically your memory and the deeds that you've done, those are what live on. And those live on through the thoughts and or the hearts and minds of other people. That is thing. I've had this thing where because I don't know what to say or how to connect, I've just been, yeah, okay, I read that. I was like, this sounds really familiar. Already been there. Yeah. No, honestly, because my altars are in like my workroom, because this is obviously my computer, and so I work here a lot. I still set in it while they're burning and while the cards are going, and so I'm around it even if it's not in like the foreground of my mind constantly. And I think that's still better than nothing, you know?
I think that's kind of the trick though, is that we have to find ways to put it into our daily life in order to grow in that direction. I think even back to building trust with a deity or ancestors or whatever other kind of spirit or entity,
Yeah.
even building that trust, just finding little ways to put them in our daily life is what really opens up that trust aspect, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well, because working them into your life in essence makes them all right. Okay. One of my notes fell off my desk. And then you'll get shit like that.
Right.
That just kind of happens. But and mind you, like this is a pile of loose notes. One paper fell off. One. The others didn't even move. But yeah, like I think when we work them into our life in that way, when we bit by bit kind of work them into our everyday routines, we literally make them our foundation. Like they're already here, our foundation, but we externally make them our foundation. We build that energetic nest. And yeah, I can absolutely see how that helps with trust.
I think it makes the environment more welcoming to them too, to just work them into your daily life like that. And it
Yeah.
gives them opportunity to show up more.
Yeah, it's like setting a place at the table for them, but it's your life.
Right.
Yeah. Hi, Gertie.
There she is again. Can't decide what to do, huh? She's like, I want to be in your lap. I don't want to be in your lap. I want to be in your lap. I don't want to be in your lap.
Cat problems. Oh, but wait. Well, it says, is it in my head or is this a message? Like using quotations, like that kind of train of thought. Yeah, and that's the trust thing, you know? Yeah, actually, the note contains plans for the podcast with Joey and I, which we are about to plan after this. So, getting there. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't honestly even think about it as consciously as I used to now because of that. Like because I've worked them in a lot in different places. It just kind of happens for the most part. Unless it's like something special that I'm doing. It's a flow. So it's like you have to find your flow in that and how it works best for you. I don't know. I wish I had a porch. I would do that thing more.
Me too. I wish I had a porch I could do that with.
We talked about this before.
Oh yeah.
Our want for a porch.
I mean, I can sit out back
Yeah, but it's not the same.
on
It's
the
not the
small
same as the
porch.
front.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not.
Because the front has the people that drive by, and then you can go, oh, that's Jenny and them.
Right.
I wonder how they're doing today. I wonder how their cousin is.
Yep. I know.
Something about the front porch.
That's one of the requirements because we're not officially moving yet, but at some point we are somewhat actively looking for a house to purchase.
What?
Requirements.
Your house seems like it's gorgeous, though. Like, I see that wood frame behind you, and that looks like a beautiful old house.
What, that up there?
Yes.
The window frame?
The window frame.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's all original wood
Yeah.
and all that type of stuff, but.
And, like, I remember the doorway is like an arch kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because you used to have your camera in, like, a different direction in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
See, I've been watching for a while.
Yeah, I know. Like.
I know what your kitchen looks like because you used to do vlogs all the time, which were probably like some of my favorite videos. They were hilarious. And y'all were always drinking.
Yes. Always had a cocktail. Always had a cocktail for that. It's either a cocktail or coffee. Like those are the things I drink.
Pixie Deuce's stalker. Look, right. Y'all don't understand. This is my brother from another mother. Like when I saw Alan, I was like, I know this dude. I know you. And it's funny because my mom saw his videos and she felt the same way. So I'm like, what's up? Yeah.
We're all connected
you don't even
somewhere.
live all that far from me. So I've driven worse.
What?
What?
What'd you say?
I said I've driven worse. Like I've driven longer distances.
Yeah. So
what'd you think I said? Because you got sassy.
No, I just didn't hear what you said.
Oh.
I just didn't hear it. I got sassy.
You did. You were like, what? What's the worst? Excuse
you. I don't know. I think if we actually got together someplace, there would be trouble. Like we would probably cause the city to go.
But that means it has to happen.
It does have to happen, but
yes.
I think we would cause problems.
Yeah.
The two of us together.
A force to be reckoned with.
Because we'd just be loud. Like
we would be really loud. But yeah, so is there anything you guys want to in the chat want to know or talk about with deity with Alan and I? Like I know it's his channel, but I'm gonna just extend that.
Go for it.
I feel like sometimes deity is built up, and this is not to say that they are not powerful and amazing and just remarkable to have in your life, and worthy of a lot of respect. But I also feel like it gets so built up that it's like it's this fear thing, and then it just never, the topic never really gets breached because of the fear.
I feel like people like. I don't know, I guess like back in the day when I was first starting out as a pagan in general, people tend to build up just like with spell work and spellcraft, people tend to build it up, and it's like, ooh, I did this and I got this wonderful result, and then you're like, well, where the fuck is the thunder and lightning? Right?
Right.
And there is no thunder and lightning. It's really not that.
I mean, there could be thunder and lightning, but it's not like that.
There could be, but it's not quite that intense most of the time.
Yeah, that's not an everyday occurrence kind of thing.
No.
I mean,
I think people expect gods and goddesses because, ooh, they're gods and goddesses. They have to be, like, they always go over the top. When they communicate, they have to go over the top. They have to, oh, look, Caradwin gave me a rainbow in the sky. No.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Like signed Caradwin in the rainbow,
right? Yeah. Like, oh, look, there's a plane going overhead and it's using smoke writing to...
Right,
it wrote the name Caradwin in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Well, it says glitter and pizzazz. Like, yeah, it's not all jazz hands. It's not all jazz hands.
Right.
And honestly, I find that the jazz hands happen once in a while, but overall, it's a, oh yeah, figure it out. Oh yeah, figure it out. Don't ever, look, I have some people that want tarot readings and stuff, and they'll ask questions, and I know when they're asking them, I'm like, I'm a pull, but they're not going to give you the answer. Like, right. I feel it in my bones. They're going to be like, make her work for it. Okay. But that's, that's part of it. It's frustrating for people who are like very straightforward, but like having to figure out, having to put the clues together, having to really like dig your hands into the dirt and feel around until you hit something. For me, at least, is the fun of it after a while. Like, I mean, I'm sure when you first start off, you're like, I don't know how to do this. But the more you do it, the more you're just like, ooh, it's this again. Well, let's get ready for this dirt.
Them sleeves.
Yeah. 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 Oh, Violet. Or the answer is like, well, I knew that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I knew that. Okay. Well, you know it, but you're not knowing it. Okay? We need both on board. Yeah.
It's just like I can't go to one of the gods or goddesses I work with and be like, hey, I have this problem and I'd like to solve it. And they're like, okay, come back to me when you solve it.
Baby, in my head. If you got a problem, I'll solve it.
Ice, baby. Like, yeah. No, most of the time it's like I'll go to, like, I don't do this as much anymore because I'm used to the answer. I'm used to getting the same answer at this point. Yep. Like I'll go to Danu and be like,
do you like when people offer tarot readings and stuff at this point? Are you kind of like, I'm not even gonna ask?
Yes.
I'm just like, I'm not even gonna ask. Unless it's like a general reading where it's like you can pull one card for some advice maybe that I need. I'm not even gonna ask a question because they're just gonna tell me the same shit.
Right.
Try again later.
Unclear. Please try again.
Yeah. Exactly.
I've actually like tried to pull cards for myself once before and gotten this. I swear it's like because like I haven't memorized the meanings of tarot cards. Mm-hmm. Like I lay them out and I read the images and whatever my intuition says is what comes.
That way, I'm gonna be really honest. I might get shot for that, but I just said it. Because it's completely intuitive.
Yep. And so like I'll like ask hey, can I get some help with this, or if I'll lay it out and it's like the same exact answer every freaking time, and it doesn't matter how I phrase the question.
Because you know you're going to try to rephrase it, right? Like,
with it.
Okay, well, how about a timeline? What about 2 months? What about 2 weeks?
Like, get all specific with it. Like, okay, so in 2 weeks, this is going to happen. And so I want to know what it's going to be like when it happens. And then you lay it out, and they're like, here's the answer. And then a couple of days later, you're like laying it out again. And it's the same freaking answer that you got before. And you're like, really? Really?
Oh my gosh.
Or like, I'll go to like Danu and I'll be like, so here's my problem. Can you help me with this? No, you can do this on your own. Here you go. Yeah. Bye. Come back to me when you're done.
You got this. Yep. Oh, Angela says, I love you guys so much. I got to take off, but you can be sure I'll be watching the rest of this later tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, Angela. Yeah. Because you brought up some stuff that we could talk about that I'm sure a lot of people struggle with. I've heard a lot of it over the last few days, even. So, no, like the last few days, everyone's been coming out the woodwork with like questions. And I do mentorship. Like, yes, please ask me things. But also there's just been common themes of like that kind of situation where it's like they're talking, but I don't understand. You know? But it's like, shh, sit with it. Because if you keep trying to do the tarot reading, it's gonna come out the same.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't, like, it's you can keep asking. You can rephrase the question as many ways as you want to, and it's always going to be the same.
I know when you ask someone else, there's a degree of looking for like a validation there, which I don't think is necessarily wrong. I think that sometimes we do need that little like nudge, especially when we're learning to trust. But you know, it's even better when that nudge is like, okay, this, yes, but also go sit down and feel it out. It just sounds like I told somebody to masturbate, but you get what I'm saying.
Yep, I understand.
Just go sit down and feel it out. Phrasing.
I'll even ask people for confirmation. Like, I won't even tell them like what this is about. I'll just be like, hey, can you like pull a couple cards or whatever?
Yeah, and don't tell them what it's about. Just say like, hey, can you pull? Yeah, you've done that with me. Yeah, and like, and that I think that there's that's a nice thing because you've already pulled and you already have that, and then you ask someone else and it's like a validation of the trust that you were putting in this. Because I mean, you have to kind of recognize the level of trust that you're at. And if you're not somewhere where you're going to be like, yep, nope, this feels right, I'm fully trusting this, then go to your friends and be like, I'm not going to tell you what this is about, but can you pull a card for me? You know?
And the answer's still always the same.
And go feel yourself all in one chat.
Yes, yes. Oh my God! Yes.
Awesome. This has been a fruitful chat.
I love it. Trust muscle and go feel yourself. Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually going to title this video that.
Trust muscle?
Trust muscle.
Chris and I talk about trust muscles.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And tell people to go feel themselves. Oh gosh. We are
Go
so
feel your
far from
trust
dating.
muscle. Go feel your trust muscle.
I mean, but it's true. I mean, really. I think that's a big part of the journey is just learning to trust yourself
It is.
above what everyone else may say, above what you have read, above it's that question everything quote. You know, question everything, no matter who has said it, even if I myself have said it. Like, question. And the only way to if you question everything, you'll come up with an answer of your own. And you'll hear it. You know what I mean? Like, you'll feel it and you try it. And it's a trial and error kind of situation, but the more you do that, the more you find your own path. I mean, I think that's also another thing is like people come in and they read these books on how to be a pagan. And then after a while you go, well, the books are nice correspondence every now and then, but I'm gonna go over here and do this thing.
Yep.
And when you hit that kind of point, that's a trust thing. That's because you've gone, you know what? These are great and I've taken them in, but I think I can take it from here, guys. And like you become the foundation instead of the foundation becoming outside of you. I mean, like when I do spell work, I'm just like, okay, guys, let's go. Let's tell me what I need. Tell me what to do. Show me in my head. Like, give me a flash. Whatever you need to do. Like, this is what we'll do. It's not necessarily this big. Let me go look it up in the family grimoire, and do everything exactly. Like, I'm not baking. It doesn't have to be exact. Because the truth is that exact situation will never arise again.
Right.
So for me, everything is individual. Yeah, you can take that framework and you can reuse the framework, but these are different people. This is a different energy, even astrologically, like it'll be a different energy in the sky. Like you adapt. I don't know. That's how I work with it though. And to adapt, you have to trust.
I think it's actually fun to watch people like, ooh, I'm gonna pull this spell out of my book of shadows and I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna get the same result this time I got last time. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see how that works. And they'll do it and it's like, what happened? What changed? Why did I not, like, why am I not getting the same result? Well, it's because
I think that's one of the reasons I really like the book that you wrote. Because right out the get-go, you're like, look, we do what we can, and what we can't, we just find a replacement. Okay? Also, all these fancy names that they call things, this is actually what it is, and you can get it at the dollar store. Okay? So let's do this.
Exactly.
I'm like, I love Fallon.
I mean, why pretend and be all pretentious about it?
Well, I think that's part of the when I say commercialization, I don't mean like YouTube commercialization. I mean like let's look at Salem, for instance. Salem, Massachusetts is a really good example of like taking the image of the witch, quote unquote, and like using it to sell things.
Right.
That doesn't mean that stuff there is inauthentic. It just means that there is definitely a conscious effort to fit a certain stereotype there. Because that's what people expect.
Right.
And I think that also plays into this. When you get into paganism and witchcraft and things, people think that they have to fit that stereotype, that they have to kind of be what others expect. And I don't think that's necessarily true. It also depends on what you're doing, too. I mean, if you're going into a coven, then yeah, you need to work by the coven stuff. But that also, like, that whole thing of where, like, do I do a coven or am I a solitary? You can be both.
Yes, you can.
Like, every time someone asks that, I'm like, but it's not a versus. And if they're making you be a versus, then that's not the place you want to go.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just like with Mystic Star, which is the coven I run. We practice Fatecraft tradition, which is what I was trained in, and
Yeah.
but it's like, so we practice that, but as a group, and we work with, you know, an Irish pantheon of deities, and all that's fabulous, but you've got your own stuff that you've already been doing for years
Yes.
outside of the coven, so there's no reason for me to forbid you to do that.
Right.
I mean, like, what would that accomplish? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I feel like anyone asking you to give up your personal power and you exploring that on your own terms, to explore that on coven terms only, is questionable. Because the coven should want to encourage their members to be stronger, their members to grow and be more powerful in their own right, which then in turn makes the coven more powerful as a group. It's like, you're only as strong as your weakest link. They want all their links to be strong. If they have their heart in the right place, they want them to grow and be fruitful. And if they're limiting them to just there, then they're limiting them, period, which means they're limiting that potential for themselves. I don't know. I would be highly wary of anyone that ever says, like, nope, it's you or us.
Now, I will say,
I was born with me, so I think it'll always be me. Thanks.
Right. Yes, it'll always be me. I will say, though, that if you're just starting out in witchcraft or paganism, it's a good idea to learn one thing, do it for a while, and then jump off from there. But I wouldn't forbid anybody from learning other stuff too. I mean, it's just wouldn't work, because who knows? Maybe you'll find something. Like, I don't know everything. I might be a high priest and I might be at this for 20 plus years, but I still learn shit from my students, on a regular basis. Like,
that's one of the first things I tell in my mentorships is, like, look, everyone is the teacher and everyone is the student. There will be times where I learn from you instead of you learning from me. And that's natural and good. That's expected. That's supposed to happen like that. Like, everyone has something that someone else doesn't have. And you can be, like you said, you can be doing this for over 20 years. I mean, I like over 21 now. I did the math the other day. And which I was like, damn, I'm old. But
that's why I just say over 20 years. Chris.
Yeah.
Okay. So just say over 20 years.
We can keep that vein. Yeah.
Y'all can figure out the nebulous after 20 years yourself. I'm sticking with 20.
I respect that. But yeah, I think that it definitely helps to start off with some sort of foundation. If you don't have your own, then a coven can be very beneficial as long as they aren't controlling who you are as a person outside of there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a line there, and you're joining your power, and you would be initiating into, I mean, after the initial studying with them and getting to know them. But they shouldn't stop you from wanting to also explore as well. And like you said, that's another thing that people don't think about is, like, when they find something, they can also bring it into the coven and say, hey guys, I found this. What do you think of this?
Right.
That's why it can be such a hub of knowledge, is because you're getting all these different people who have different paths outside of it. and they're putting their perspective in on something that you're all following. And it can be a whole new layer that you discover really easily. And I think sometimes people think of covens as this stagnant kind of thing, like this stationary, it is this and it is this always. But the truth is like when you initiate and you go and go through all the ranks and then you form your own, like you hive off, that hive, even though it came from over here, is going to have its own thing too that is different from another hive. And it changes with those people. It'll be ran slightly different because of the high priest and priestess. It'll be different not only because of that, but also because of their own life experiences as well, and the things that they've looked into. And so even then, even though the basis is the mother one, that is still slightly tweaked. It's like you look at the big chain stores, right? And like they all have the same like policies, but each store is ran slightly different because of the management.
Right.
And that's essentially what I'm saying, is that it can all be one tradition, but each coven is very different according to its management. And so I would say get to know your priestesses, get to know your priests first. If you jive with them and they're respectful and you're respectful of them and their time, I will specify because that's another issue.
That's another issue in and of itself.
That's a whole other video, right? Then, you know, awesome, do it, learn, you know. But if there's someone who is telling you that they have all the answers, or that you have to stop doing what you're doing, be here with them, like I can feel the snickering bubbling up in you. Yeah, question that. Because you can find the answers somewhere else if that's the case. Yeah.
Like I don't know where to go from there.
I've had great experiences and I've had bad experiences, and I mean, I grew up with my mother doing like women's gatherings and circles, and there's a lot of we're way off of deity now, just but there's a lot of discussion about how do I say this without being mean? Well, it's your channel, so I guess I just say it.
Just say it.
So I feel like watching my mother host these things and helping her out with stuff for all those years, I noticed that people like to get, but they don't necessarily like to give. And there's also, at the same time, when I'm talking about covens and you know, making sure that everyone's respectful, you also have to be respectful as well. And the fact that especially the leaders, are taking time to help everyone and answer all their questions, and a lot of times spending their money on resources to do these classes and the stuff, you know, like an incense making class doesn't fall out of their ass. You have to buy the ingredients for that.
Right.
And some of those resins and things are expensive. So, you know, just helping them out wherever you can is also really nice. And for me, like, even though I wasn't in a coven, that's an elder thing. That's a respect your elders, like pay it back. If an elder is standing and you are sitting, you are wrong. Get the fuck up and let them sit down. Like, that's just kind of how that extends. Right. At least to me. I don't know. I was born in the South. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Violet asked a question. How do you guys cope with periods of silence for gods and goddesses? You want to go first, Alan? Or are you looking at me?
How do I cope with periods of silence? I just kind of float through them. Like, to be honest, it's like, so if I'm like working with Pan specifically on something and suddenly he's MIA, um, I mean, there's not much for me to do except, I mean, like I might leave an offering outside, be like, hello, we were in the middle of a convo here.
Ding dong, anyone there? Yeah.
Like, you still home? But you know, if there's a period of silence, I mean, honestly, what are you going to do except endure it until they decide that they're going to speak again? I'll like that's actually when I start getting out the cards and going, what's happening here, and like,
and then they tell you the same stuff over and over again.
Right, and then start getting the same answers over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. I think that there's like a gestation period before another big ass lesson sometimes too, where they're like, all right, just sit here and relax a moment. But instead of relaxing, we're like, what are we gonna do next? So I think in those times it's important to try and be and practice being, not like thinking of the future, not thinking of the past, but just simply being and taking in the time that you have when it's quiet and they're not throwing all these answers at you, or all these, not even answers, all these puzzles, like smacking you over the head with a puzzle. And you know, breathe deeply and kind of center yourself up and realize that your existence and your validation does not depend on them constantly interacting with you in that way. This does not mean that they're gone forever. This does not mean that they have forsaken you because you did something wrong. This does not mean any of that necessarily. It just means they went to Cancun. Just chill. Like, right. We're taking a break. We're taking a break. And so in that situation, I usually will go, okay, well, I'm not getting anything, so I'll just like do my thing and wait for you to come back. It's like you don't only live when a house guest comes over, right? You go about your business when they leave. So you go about your business when they're not talking and just trust that they'll come back. And again, that's a trust thing. Because you have them do it enough and then you're like, oh, I know what this is. You know? Right. Get that from the feel. And it might not be the answers you want, but again, wanting that is looking in, right? That's not being. So it's a bad, and I think that's part of the struggle for us too. You know, we want the answer, but it's like, no, right now you need to just be.
I think we need to, I think we as pagans, leaders or not, I think we need to stop perpetuating this idea that you have to be in constant contact with something outside of yourself. Because there's a lot of that goes on. Like, there are people that are like, well, if I'm not talking to deity, or if deity's not talking to me, or if I'm not, you know, like if my ancestors aren't coming around, or if I'm not feeling something, something's wrong. Mm. But that's not always the case. So, I mean, it's good to just take a break. And I tell that with, I tell clients that too, a lot of the times, because it's like, you're going to drive yourself nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just going to drive yourself nuts going here and doing that and doing this and doing the other thing, trying to get attention and trying to get the attention of the spirits and trying to get this thing accomplished and that thing accomplished. And, you know, like,
and then one day they're all going to show up at your door all at once.
Right. I've got Kwanya and Ganesha paying.
It's like, I just woke up.
It's like, I do things for all of my gods and goddesses, but I schedule it all out, and it's not all the time. And you speak with them, but you have to take a break. Like, you're a human being.
There's a control element too, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's definitely a control element as well. Like, I want my answer when I want it. And that sounds really ugly like that, but I mean, it's human. to want to like have some kind of structure so that we know when to count on things. But it's also spirit to go, fuck your structure. We'll do it how we need to do it.
Yep.
So I think that's another element to it, is like when they're not answering and you want them to answer, like they're not going to answer even harder sometimes because it's a lesson in like, no, you don't control this part. Like, you don't, not so much you don't control, but you don't need the control. You don't need the control right now. Just be, you know?
I think sometimes too we get in this mentality where we always need something, but they're like, because I mean, if you think about it, they're gods and goddesses, so they kind of see the big picture, anyways. And it's they're like looking down at the map, and they see the map, and they see the route you're traveling from way up here. They're like, well, you don't really need that yet. So chill.
It's like, look, you're on the road that goes through the field, and it's a straight road. There are no other roads connecting it. I'll catch you when you're at a crossroad, okay?
Right. I'll catch you down the street at the railroad track. Just...
Right. Yeah. And we're like, hello? What do we do? Do we keep going? Do we keep going forward? Is this the wrong road? There is one road right now. Just relax. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Absolutely. That visual.
Yep. Yeah. There's one road, and it's the road you're on. You don't need to be on any other road. You're good.
Yeah, there's definitely just an element of trust and giving up control and learning that you are not you're not validated by them. You're already who you are. The presence helps, and it is a very core healing soul lesson kind of experience, yes. But the talking, the communication, like you said, that external thing isn't what validates you. You were already valid when you were born. And you don't always need them right there to be like, I'm still here. I'm still here. It's good. You're fine, baby, with a pat on the hand. Like, you don't always need the pat on the hand. Even though you may feel like it. And maybe that's the lesson in itself.
Violet says, be the trust muscle.
Yes, be the trust muscle. Yeah, I get put in timeout for my own good. Always realize once I walk through the quiet time. Yeah, a lot of times it is a lesson, because people, when they go into the quiet time, like they'll start spiraling. Like they get so in their head that they'll start spiraling and do this self-doubt thing where they think that like none of this has been real, and and they go into the sentence, am I crazy? Which is one that I hear constantly from people. What if I'm crazy? I feel like I'm crazy. Well, we're all a little crazy. But Einstein was crazy too, and he was also a genius. Just saying. Like, what is crazy?
Right.
And yet we'll say that when we've had these like strong experiences that we can't deny. But when we're in the silence and we don't have that constant reassurance that this is what's happening, we start to deny it. We start to spiral. And so I think sometimes they're asking us, where is your faith? Because to have faith is in the unseen. To have faith isn't, you can have faith in I have faith in this cup. No, this cup is here. Why do I need faith in that? No. I have faith that this cup will be filled in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Again, and I want to have some second coffee. You have to have faith in them. And maybe that's, you asking for faith from them, but you have to have faith in them as well. And in these times, I feel like that's the lesson. Often. That's been the lesson for me. Is like, no, don't question. Just know that I'll return. And honestly, I've gotten to the point now where At least I personally haven't had a god or goddess go silent on me like that and never come back. Usually when they leave, they let you know they're leaving. No, you've learned what you need to learn. I'm out. When they just go silent, they're coming back. You don't need them right now. But have faith that they'll be there, should you.
That's exactly what I was talking about with Carradwin. Like, she's just like, okay, we're good. See you later.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gone. And then like 2 years later, she's like, hey, you there?
Yeah, and that's another thing too. It's even when they say I'm out, sometimes they come back then too. Like later down the line,
right?
They'll come back and just be like, "So hi."
So you remember 2 years ago when we left off at blah blah blah? It's like, no, that was 2 years ago. I don't remember that. Well, let me refresh your memory.
Boom.
Yeah, they do that sometimes too.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to get going in a few minutes if that's all right.
That's fine. I need to take off because it's like 1 out and I have a thing at 2 that I need to prep for. So
yeah, I've got clients and stuff and then podcast planning to do. So yeah. Do you want to do one round of questions or just go now?
I'm good. If nobody else has anything they want to ask, I'm good.
All right, cool. I'm going to go then. Thanks for having me on, Alan.
Yes, thank you for coming. I enjoyed it.
It's always a pleasure talking to you. And for anyone seeing this that doesn't know who I am, my name is Cris Ashburn, and you can find me at chrisashburn.com or on YouTube as well. Cris is spelled without an H, Cris. Yeah, come check me out. And you know, if you're subbed to Alan, then you clearly have good taste.
Wow. Isn't that fabulous? And I'll put all of the linkage below too in the video.
Awesome. Thank you.
So that'll work.
And if you haven't read his book, go read his book because it's great.
Oh, it just came out in paperback.
It did?
Yeah.
You know what I would really love, since we're talking about this? I would really, really love to have an audio of me reading it.
Are you like serious?
I'm so serious because your voice, like you have so much inflection and stuff that I would love to hear it in your voice.
Oh my God.
You're like, why did she just say this?
Yeah. Why did she say that?
Because also like audiobooks are really easy for me because I'm always on the go. And so I can put them on and listen to them while I'm doing stuff. Right. And I know other people are like that too. So I'm just saying, just a suggestion. You ain't gotta be like a.
Well, the book is so short; it would probably be like a 10-minute clip or something.
It's not that short.
It actually turned out longer in paperback than I thought it was gonna. But I was like, well, this might be 50 pages in paperback. No,
but it's good though. It's good content, and it reframes how you think about spell work and stuff. So, like, I love that about it. All right, so yeah, audiobook. Anyway, love your face, Alan. Love you guys in the chat. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll do this again at some point.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Have a fabulous afternoon. I'm going to go get prepped for all my other happy stuff. And yes. Oh, wait.
Wait. Yes.
This.
You got it!
Yes, I got it. I was going to do something with it on Friday, but I didn't have the opportunity to do it. I wanted to do it before we chatted, but it didn't work.
That's all right. For you guys that don't know, that's the Hokape death paint. He is part of the test tribe that like got to try it out early.
Yes. I have so much planned for this.
Pre-orders have not been sent out yet. Like that's on the 21st. But Cat, what is happening? He's sneezing. He has allergies. Are you good? Yeah, get it out. There you go. Okay.
Poor baby.
That person suck it out your nose. Are you better now? He's better. Okay, crisis averted. Anytime the season starts like changing and it's getting cooler now, his sinuses flip out. He's just like his mama.
So yes, this is Chris's Hokape paint kit. This is the tears because I'm like I have psychic special stuff that I wanted to do with the tears. So I asked for the tears.
Show him the top. The top of the the top of the rune.
The what?
It doesn't show as well. Yeah. So all of them are ruined with like a protection sigil and and sealed up for everyone.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see
it. Okay.
And then that one has iolite and lapis lazuli in it.
Yes.
So
I have special plans.
I'm so excited. So excited. Like it's crazy. Like people are out and like trying them and testing them now, and I'm like, like my baby, it's all grown up and safe in China. Like I don't know what to do with myself. And I'm also just really glad that like they made it really well, and I shipped them nice and packed so that nothing happened, because that was a worry I had. So yay, awesome.
Yeah. So the packaging, it was really well protected. Like there was like, I pulled it out and I was like, how much tape is on this?
All the tape and all the bubble wrap.
Right, that's like
because it has a shell and 2 glass vials, and one of those vials has water in it. And so I'm like, nothing can break. Yes.
No, it was really well done though, and I'm glad that it all got here intact because I'm like, yes, I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. You have to let me know like how it goes and all that.
Yep. All right, so you go do your thing, and I'm gonna go prep for my thing, and
we'll go do our things after flexing our trust muscles. Got it.
Yes, we're gonna flex our trust muscles quietly.
Hashtag trust muscle.
Quietly.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Bye guys. Bye Alan.
Bye.